You are Locked On Clippers POSTCAST. Part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What is up? Hello and welcome to the Locked On Clippers POSTCAST on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. I am Pete Fox, covering sports in LA dating back to 2007 for ESPN LA and NBC Sports Radio. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Clippers POSTCAST brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Well, so close. Coulda, shoulda won that game, but didn't. Real close. They gave the Thunder a run for their money. Nice first quarter. Ugly start to the second quarter. Third quarter, pretty good, pretty fair, pretty even, 26-24, Oklahoma City, 81-77 at that point in the game. And the fourth quarter is really where it all came down to who was going to prevail in this game, as it should. I think people should definitely take notice of the Clippers at this point, that they're going to be a tough out. You know, I don't know that they're going to make a run per se, but they have it rolling. And the fact that they gave the Thunder a run for their money says a little bit of something. You know, of course, I felt at times like the Thunder were, this was kind of an analogy I made for both Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and for the Thunder in general. It felt like they're a black belt and the Clippers are a white belt, and the Clippers are doing all sorts of, you know, kung fu jiu-jitsu stuff that they know, which isn't a whole lot, but they're doing all of it. And the Thunder are just kind of standing there watching them do all of their jump kicks and spins and turns. And then they just kind of go, you know, and jab them in the throat. That's what it felt like. The Clippers were just running around crazy, and the Thunder were just doing their thing and kind of turned it up when they needed to, and then would relax a little bit, then turn it up a little bit. It was almost as if they were toying with the Clippers, because honestly, they don't need to win these games. I mean, they've got probably 12 or 11 left, and they could probably lose them all and still would finish in first. Let's see where they are in the standings at this point. Best record in the league, we know that, after the Cavs lost to the Clippers and have faltered a little bit. The Thunder now have 59 or 60. What is it? Yeah, 59-12. They're 13.5 up on the Rockets. So, yeah, they don't need to win these games. So the fact that they come out and play hard like this is a little surprising. You have to give them credit that, hey, you know, they come out with heart and they give it 100% regardless. But the Clips, you know, the story of the 4 games against the Thunder this season, they usually hang around in the first. Things come back to earth a little bit, either at the end of the second or start of the third, and then the Thunder pull away. They didn't do that tonight. The second quarter was ugly. Turnovers. Clippers were on their heels, the ball not moving. The Thunder just kind of flipped that switch a little bit, and the Clippers were a little stunned. They were like, uh-oh, this is not the same Thunder we were playing in the first quarter. And, you know, the Clippers have had a lot of turnovers in the 3 previous games against the Thunder, and I thought tonight was better. It wasn't quite the disaster that we've seen from the Clippers at times. And ultimately, lately, that's been a big part of why they're playing better. Tonight, by the way, a 103-101 loss at Intuit Dome, as the Clippers were looking for a 4-0 homestand. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading the Thunder with 26, and Kawhi had 25 for the Clippers, who shot 43% from the floor, 30% from beyond the arc, outshooting OKC 40% from the floor, 34 from beyond the arc. 14 turnovers in all for the Clips, 9 for the Thunder, 48-42 in the rebound tally in favor of the Clippers. But where the Clippers really left the barn door open and lost this game, it's pretty simple. There is one stat that kicked the Clippers right in the gonads, and that stat is second chance points. 18 for the Thunder. Clippers had 11. I'm surprised by this number. The Clippers led the stat in fast break points because it was only by 4, 17-13. But when they started to run a little bit more in the third quarter, it got sloppy. The Clips were, though, hanging around, and maybe that's why, because they were running a little bit more. The defense intensity definitely ratcheted up, and it was equaling buckets. It was leading to those easy buckets, which has, again, been a thing for the Clippers all season long. If the defense is turning defense into offense, that's a good position for them to be in. And tonight, at times, it was a big part of what was keeping them in this game and what got them back to a point where they were competitive and even in the lead.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Well, that's not the one I wanted to hit, but since we're here, we have to give it to Kawhi Leonard tonight. Without a doubt, continues to play extremely high-level basketball, and it's why the Clippers are playing well right now. Averaging 26-27 over the last 5 or 6 games. He had 25 and 10 tonight, 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, and only 2 turnovers. So a really nice night for Kawhi Leonard. Could have used a bucket from him in the final 30 seconds, but James Harden decided to do that thing where he's just going to hold on to it and let the clock wind down. What in the hell was that? Screaming at the TV. Come on, move the ball. You cannot just sit there. At least give it to Kawhi and let him do his thing, because Kawhi is playing high level right now. Very aggressive, very athletic. We saw him beat the Kings a few games ago, rather. And yes, it was a very lucky bounce, but that's not a move in the final 30 seconds that James Harden's going to pull off, especially against the Thunder defense. They were just doing what they do. Number 1 defense in the league. Not surprising. It is suffocating. Ask Ivica Zubac how that felt. Boy, they were all over him tonight. And Brian Seaman made the joke. It felt like there's 6 defenders on the floor. Zubac must have felt like the 3 of them were on him at all times. 15 points, 11 boards, 4 of 9. Not a great night for Zubac, but it was forced because the Thunder defense is just relentless.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think what we'll be talking about with this one is so close. Almost. Clippers gave the Thunder a run. God, how great would it have been to get a win over the top 2 teams in the league on this homestand? And you want to throw the Memphis Grizz in there as well. I don't think they're one of the top teams, but they're definitely in front of the Clippers. So close, but not good enough. So that's, I think, the story of this game is that the Clippers made it interesting. It was a good game. Yeah. And you come away from it, you're like, that's exactly what you want from the Clippers for 90% of this game. But at the end, I think that's the point of this game where we go, not good enough. Now's the time. Now is when you have to go. Let's go. Got to take advantage. And look, they've gotten better. They got 40 wins now. 40 and 31 after this loss, 25 and 11 at home. We'll get into Norm Powell's game after the break, and we'll get into James Harden a little bit more and what we got from the bench. Honorable mention for player of the game coming up after this. It's the Locked On Clippers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel, the place to hang out when every game is done. Tonight's episode of the Locked On Clippers postcast brought to you by Monarch Money. You ever check your bank account and wonder where all my money go? I kind of feel like I do that a lot. I have, at the start of the year, I've become a mileage points nerd, and I pretty much don't use debit cards for anything anymore. I use credit cards, and then I just pay them off to the best of my ability at the end of the month, feeling like it's, a benefit to do that. But still, there are times when you're like, wait a second, I spent that much? And so it's kind of the same deal where you look at your account and go, wait, how did I got to take this money and move it over here to pay this credit card off. And I don't quite have what I thought I had. It's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, including your investments, spending, all that stuff in one place. So stop just managing your money and start building wealth. You can find surprise insights. When I started using Monarch Money, which I'm not using, I hate this. Anyway, the insights though, I've used various other apps in the past that have given me insights as to safe, secure, or a little bit more aggressive places to invest your money, and then turn it into more. You got to run a little bit of risk. When I was in North Carolina last week, I was having a beer with a friend there and started chatting with the bartender who was asking me all these questions about mileage and points and all that stuff. And I was nerding out on her with all my newfound information. But she's like, I'm starting to invest a little bit. And she's like, I bought this thing called the S&P. I don't know what that is, but I have like $8 in the S&P. And I'm like, that's the S&P 500. And that is a very good place to invest. The cool thing about Monarch Money when it comes to that kind of stuff is it keeps it all in one place. And you can go, okay, here's my investments. Here's my checking account. Here's my savings account. Here's my 401k. It's all together. My credit cards, it's all together in one place. So take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's Monarch, MONARCH money.com. Code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. Clippers fall, losing a tight one in the final seconds to the Thunder, 103-101. Kawhi leading the way with 25. Zubats had 15 and 11. They were all over him, doing a very nice job on him in the paint. James Harden, 4 of 14, 2 of 6 from beyond the arcs, 7 of 8 from the line for 17 points. Could have used a few more from him, but we got 8 assists and 5 rebounds, so that was nice to see. 6 turnovers, not nice to see there. Norm Powell missed a key bucket, a 3 right at the end of the game that would have given the Clippers the win more than likely. He only had 1 3 versus 6 tries, 9 points on the night, still trying to find his way. I don't think any of us are surprised by that after his time on the bench with the injury there. 4 of 12 all in all. And Chris Dunn, 19 minutes, 7 points off the bench. Ben Simmons was fantastic. Every time he was on the floor, it was noticeable. You were aware of what he was doing because he was being aggressive, penetrating the lane, getting to the rack, playing defense, making those floaters. Everything Ben Simmons did tonight was fantastic. Again, 4 of 5, 8 points, 7 boards, and 3 block shots. 3 block shots. Oh, no, that's Derrick Jones Jr. with 3 block shots and 9 points, 3 turnovers for Ben Simmons. So other than that, everything was spectacular. And Bogdanovic, very off night, very tentative, very hesitant. Another gaping hole in the offense for the Clippers tonight. In spite of that, they made it interesting. If he had even a halfway normal night of what we've seen from him of late, they probably win this game by 5. 1 of 6, 0 for 3 for 2 points. 0 for 3 from 3. I don't know what that's all about with him. He just gets tentative sometimes. He is afraid to shoot. He dribbles too much. He doesn't, when he catches and shoots, he's so much better. And tonight we didn't see hardly any of that. But, look, in spite of some holes, I think the Clippers made this game interesting and gave the Thunder a run for their money. And in spite of an ugly start to the second quarter, they got back on track. And at the half, they were only down 6. And then they grabbed the lead in the fourth quarter. Norm Powell was being aggressive again, and not a great night for him. There was glimpses of the old Norm Powell, but that splitting the defense layup that he had in the fourth quarter was fantastic. And I really did think that the Clippers were going to pull this one out.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
The real quick are kind of two turning points. Obviously, the turning point was the final 30 seconds of the game. But at the 7:42 mark, the Clippers were down one. SGA was on the bench. Clippers went on a 10-2 run and a 14-4 run. Called a timeout, did the Thunder. And really, from then to the final seconds of the game, it was close. 1, 2, 3 points, nothing more than that. Kawhi was doing work in the low post, taking over the game, and had the fadeaway working. Everything was working. So I'm like, just let's let Kawhi be Kawhi. Do your thing, and we're going to win this game. But it wasn't to be, because James Harden had to dribble and hold and stand there and let the time expire off the clock. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. I don't get it. James Harden is valuable to this team. I understand that. But there are times when it's just like, what are you doing? Like Brian Seaman always wants to defend him. I think it's against people like me that criticize him even a little bit. I got no problem with James Harden. I love him. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are. But there are just times when you're like, he's just infuriating. Pass the ball. Move the ball. Like the Thunder were doing. There were times where that ball was ping pong and pinballing around where you're like, what? I can't even keep my eyes on it. It's moving so fast. Final thought that needs to be mentioned tonight. Brian Seaman needs to get a little bit of credit for his creativity with his coffee puns. And I thought it was pretty ingenious the way he worked it in, because damn well he planned this ahead of time. But the Thunder have a guy named Joe, which obviously we all know is a nickname for coffee. What's that guy's last name? Isaiah Joe. So when Isaiah Joe and Amir Coffee were head to head and Coffee got a steal from Isaiah Joe, Brian Seaman called it winning the Java joust. I was like, that's good. That's good. Come on. Give the guy some credit for doing his homework. Coffee beating Joe with the steal, and the Java joust is won by Amir Coffee. Too bad the game wasn't. 103-101. Shea Gilgeous leading the way with 26 for the Thunder in an off night for him. 7 of 29. But boy, can that dude play, man. He is so athletic and aggressive. Again, back to that analogy of the martial artist who is, the black belt and the other guy's the white belt. Well, SGA is the definite black belt there and just kind of does what he needs to do. And everyone else is just running around trying to keep up with him. And you're just, damn well that he is going to knock you out. Like, that's how it goes. Although tonight, 1 of 7 from beyond the arc, but still figured out a way. 11-11 from the line with 8 assists and 3 rebounds, 26 points. That's what he can do. And if he doesn't win the MVP, I will be surprised. Look, Jokic is having a great year, but SGA is so the man this year and deserves to win it. That is our Locked On Clippers postcast on the Locked On Sports LA YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your comments. Clippers fall in this one, 103-101. Off until when is the next one? Oh, the Knicks on Wednesday. So Monday, Tuesday, there's nothing. And we will talk on Wednesday night, to the best of my knowledge, unless I have Dodgers or I'm traveling. I can't remember. It's spring break for my daughter, so we are out of town. I might be on a plane and miss that one, but I'll do my best for you. It's the Locked On Clippers postcast. Take care. Have a good night. We will talk soon.